Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Perspective. We'll be talking about the overall political situation. Of course, we've seen comments come from the opposition, mainly PTI, regarding further protests. The government's preparedness, the government seems adamant that they will deal with any and all protest as far as the PTI is concerned, whether unusual, in a rather unusual manner. We'll be talking about what this means as far as the government is concerned, what kind of measures will they take to deal with protests as anticipated by the opposition. We'll also be talking about the overall position as far as the government and the opposition is concerned with regard to further amendments, if any, and whether there is a possibility of there being some kind of a working relationship on those as far as the government and the opposition is concerned. All of that today on Perspective. I have with me Fakhar Yousafzai, who's a senior journalist. Thank you for being with us today. We have with us Shezra Mansab Ali from the PML-N. Thank you for joining us. And Ali Rashid from the PPP. Thank you for joining us today. Shezra, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Shezra, we've seen the latest comment by Rana Sanaullah Saab when he said that the government is ready to respond to any unusual protest strategies from the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf. What do you think, when we talk about an unusual, do you feel that there's going to be a change in the kind of protests that are anticipated by the government? And how does the government aim to deal with them?
Thank you very much for having me on your show. I think what you've been from the PTI in the past few times that they try to come to protest their faith, and the person who is representing them now is their Chief Minister Ali Rashid, and he has used foul language even in the jalsas that he's been doing. And recently, he's used very strong language. He talked about war. He said that they'll be ready to die when they come out. So very strong language. And I'm not sure, but I think it was Ali Amin Gandapur or one of the other leaders who said that this time their protest is going to be very different. The problem is that they're all divided into groups. There is no one PTI left anymore. It's a group of different PTIs. Everybody has their own leader and every person is saying something different. As far as the Chief Minister is concerned, he says a lot of bluster, he says a lot of strong things, but when it actually comes to the protest, he brings the people, incites them to violence, and then disappears, leaving them there high and dry. As far as some other like Sheriffs and Marwat are concerned, they're criticizing the other leaders for not being there. Many of the leaders from Lahore never show their face in these protests. As far as Imran Khan's sisters are concerned, they also have, shown that they're not very satisfied with the political leadership that is available right now to them. And they've been on record to say that these people are not serious about getting Imran Khan out of jail. So everybody's saying something different. I think what Rana Sanaullah Saab said was in response to one of them who said that this time they're going to do a different protest. So he said that if they do something unusual, the response of the government will obviously be unusual also. But the truth is that the people are not ready to come out with them. The people are not ready to go on this wild goose chase that they call for every time, and then it ends up in nothing. Lots of fire and fury, but nothing really comes out of it. And so in the end, people are not ready to come out. Their leaders are not ready to come out. So what kind of...
I'll come back to you. Let me go to Ali and then to Fakhar Saab here. Ali, do you think the government, when you talk about either the people not coming out, which is what Shezra is saying, she's saying essentially that the people who support, the supporters of PTI, have not really come out on the call. On the other hand, there are claims that, of course, the PTI is making. In your opinion, do you think that there's a possibility, all these rumors have been refuted of there being a deal with the government? What do you say to that?
Thank you. I feel it's a good question about people not coming out on this call. I mean, forget about people. How many MNAs, MPAs, and senators, parliamentarians, If you count all the parliamentarians PTI has, they have around over 300 parliamentarians. How many of those people have you actually seen come out in these protests? Minus Gandapur, which I have my issues with the way he does things, and plus D Chalk, how he disappeared. But was there like a contingency plan? Was there any other leadership present in the last protest? No. Nobody's interested. Forget about people or the public. Their leadership is not interested in coming out. These are all tall claims. This is just to create unrest. And I mean, put your money where your mouth is. What have you done in the previous protests? Nobody comes out. Not your leaders are not there. You have issues amongst the ranks of the leadership. You've seen like the government and opposition parties blaming each other. Here, they're blaming each other. They're different factions of the party, which are just accusing each other of not doing their part. I think, if anything, they should come to consensus within the party, have a meeting, talk to each other, iron out their differences, and then think about the next step of action or plan of action. Because right now it's very clear that they are very weak. They don't know what they're doing. There's a lot of confusion within the ranks of the party. Leadership, political workers are unhappy. So if it continues like this, the government will obviously come down with a iron fist, because we don't want any political instability. Finally, Pakistan is on its track to progress, and as you can see, the inflation is coming down, the interest rates are being cut, the stock market is booming, a lot of foreign investment is coming, IMF is going through. So we can't really afford this kind of nonsense at a point like this. If you have issues, then if there are genuine concerns, I mean, they talk about the Chief Justice. They had problems with the 26th Amendment. Then they kept saying we don't accept this Chief Justice. Then on the oath taking of the Chief Justice, the same people who are on talk shows saying that we won't accept this new Chief Justice and Mansoor Ali Shah Saab should be the Chief Justice, they were present at the oath taking. This hypocrisy should stop, because Pakistan cannot afford it. And I think the public is also seeing that they're making a mockery out of everything. So nobody's really interested in supporting this kind of sham of and why and what kind of precedent are you setting that a provincial government, the chief executive of a provincial government, using the machinery of the province, the government servants, government cars, coming and protesting against the state in Islamabad? I think this has to stop. I think push has come to shove, and they need to make an example out of people who are doing this, because this is just not on anymore.
Let me come back to you, Ali. Fakhar Saab, as far as the situation at this time is concerned, whether the government of course says that people have not come out, you've heard them, that they don't want, and there's fighting within the party. In terms of coming to some sort of agreement with the opposition, of course that would suit the government also, because like they are saying, the protests of course will have caused a disruption in the system. Whether they do anything in the long run or not, for that day, for those, and what is the message it sends out. Do you think there's a possibility of that?
I think so. Government is interested to dialogue with PTI, but it's depend on PTI that they are not coming for the dialogues, I think so. And as the Ali was talking about the Ali in Gandapur, actually he's a chief minister, but he's not delivering from last 6-7 months. He is a chief executive of the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. I think so he should focus on the serious matters of the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. If we talk about the DI Khan, which is the native city of Gandapur Saab, I think so there are so many problems, law and order situation, unemployment and things like that. But I don't know, Gandapur Saab is alone trying after a week or two that I am going to Islamabad, I will take over on Islamabad. I don't know for what he is coming.
Because he wants to, the PTI as a whole have said that they want to free their leader, so to speak. I'm not agree with that. Actually, this is not a way that you will free your leader, that you will together the people and you will try to take over the Islamabad and you will say that our leader will be released from the ideology. I don't think so. You should go to the court.
High Court, Supreme Court. This is a way, this is a proper way. I think so. Before the Imran Khan, Nawaz Sharif Sahab was in the jail, Maryam Nawaz was in the jail, Azib Ali Zardari Sahab was in the jail. I don't think so that the People Party people was coming to Islamabad from Karachi that we will release Azib Ali Zardari Sahab from the jail. This is not a way. I think so. He's not delivering to the people of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Ali Amin Gandapur, and I think so.
This is a diversion.
Yeah, exactly. This is a diversion. He is trying, and I think so. It's a big drama. Unfortunately, with the people of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, this is the third term of PTI, and if they are not delivering to the people of that province, which is affected from the terrorism,
But the people voted for them.
Yeah, of course they voted, but not for that we will go every Friday or every Saturday to take over the Islamabad. I don't think so. They voted for that. I don't think so. I'm not agree with that. Actually, I'm covering Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, so many areas over there. I don't think so. The people are agree for that we will go and we will try to take over the Islamabad and we will create the unrest. I don't think so. Last time, I think so, I was covering that Dharna here in the D Chowk. I think so, there were not more than 1,000 or 1,500 people here in the blue area, but they were creating the unrest. Of course, the people of Islamabad, you and me, and I think so, more than 1 million people was affected from that.
Yes, definitely.
And this is not a good thing for us and for Gandapur as well.
People are affected. Every time it happens, you and I are affected. Let me go to Shezra. Shezra, we were talking about this, and you know it is a relatively commonly known fact that the PTI as a political party hasn't been able to deliver in KP. Would you agree with that?
Yes, absolutely. You see, this is not only in this term, but they've been there for 3 terms. This is their 3rd term now. And what difference have we seen? Have we seen any reforms in any of the institutions? Have we seen any? In fact, there have been so many projects which have just ended up in corruption. For example, the BRT, there was the Malam Jabba case, there was the helicopter case, there were so many cases. And now, just recently, many of their ministers resigned because they said that they could not continue in this cabinet where there was so much corruption. And there is a lot of terrorism now, which is a very serious thing in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. Many of the areas are now, beyond their control. This is an extremely serious situation, and rather than trying to control that situation and giving his attention to that situation as CM, which he should be doing, Ali Amin Gandapur is all about his bluster and coming every second day to Islamabad or to Punjab and saying that we're going to go in.
The next question is, and do you agree with the elections as far as KP is concerned? Why do the people support the PTI as a party when they have consistently not delivered, like you said?
Yes, well, you see, this is the will of the people. And I'm not going to say that whether I agree with the elections or not, because this is just what PTI does every time. Wherever they win, the elections have been fair and free. Where they don't win, the elections have not been free. So according to them, throughout the country, in all the other provinces, the elections were not free, but in KP, they were free. So I don't want to get into that, but the people are now, slowly but surely, they are understanding that this PTI as a party, whenever they come into government, they're not concerned with the people and the people's problems. Even now, whenever they come out for their protests, they've never raised their voice for the people or any problems that the people might be facing. They always have only one point agenda, and that is that they want to release Imran Khan from the jail. And this is not the way. This is not how, if their leader is in the jail, it's because of some misdemeanors, some crimes or whatever that he has committed, and those cases are being they are in the courts of law. So if he's innocent, he will be freed from the court of law. Ali Amin Gandapur should be focusing on that, but instead of that, he has, for example, look at his statements. Even today, he gave a statement against Maulana. Now, Maulana has stood by them through this whole process of the 26th Amendment. He has been in dialogue with them. He has tried to get their viewpoint. He has tried to get them to have an input into whatever is happening. And everybody was all praises for Maulana, but today Ali Amin Gandapur comes up and he said these very unfortunate things about Maulana. I don't want to repeat them. So this is not how political parties behave. If you like somebody, if you think that somebody is useful to you, you begin to say that, praise that person. And if you think that now this person's usefulness is over, you begin to have these personal attacks on that person. This is not how political parties behave. This is why this political party has never been interested in political dialogue. They've only been interested in coming out into the onto the roads, even to the extent that they wanted to sabotage such an important conference that was going on, the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. They wanted to protest even during that, which was a matter of pride for the whole country, in the same way that their people have been protesting in, for example, London against Qazi Faizisa, who has been given a bench in a very important court of Inns of Court, the Middle Temple.
Yes. Shezra, let me come back to you. I'll go to Ali. Ali, this is the same argument that the PTI makes against your party, for example. They say that as far as the people's support is concerned, the PPP as a political party hasn't really been able to make inroads into making any, as far as development is concerned, as far as infrastructure is concerned, and yet, the people's mandate is what it is. How would you respond to that? Ali, can you hear me now? This is as far as performance is concerned, as far as performance of political parties is concerned, it is very commonly said, and I'm sure you're aware, that before the vote of no confidence happened, if they were to assess the performance of PTI as a political party, we would have seriously found it wanting. And as far as their support bank was concerned, as far as their voter base was concerned, it had really been rocked. And yet, we saw how the events unfolded. Do you think, as an analyst, do you think that our vote bank is performance driven? Do you think it's how much of it is in your opinion performance driven? Because this is a very important question.
A very good question. You asked a very good question. Actually, I think so. As Madam Shezra talked about the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa performance, and you asked me that the people are voting them. Yes. This is the third term for PTI. I think so. Might be possible. Performance is not, I think so, doesn't matter for the people. I think so. I'm not agree because the PTI is not delivering that from last three terms. This is 12th or 13th year of their government in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. But I don't think so that they have delivered to the people of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa that much as we seen in the Punjab. From the, I will say, from the PML-N government, they have delivered, I think so, much better than the PTI in Lahore, in Faisalabad, in Multan, in different areas. But if the people are voting them, I think so, this is the basic right of the people that they should ask their leaders. If they are voting to the PTI or some other party, I think so, they should ask if they are not delivering them, if they are not resolve their problems. I think so, as the madam talking about the terrorism in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, especially in the southern areas of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, it's very affecting. I think so, they should work for that. They should strengthen the local
police. But it applies if they feel that the people are it's going to matter to the people. Then they will work, right? So it's that kind of
a of course, you are right. Absolutely.
Let me come back to you. I'm going to go to Ali. I think the audio is better. Ali, can you hear me now? Ali? No. Let me go to Shezra. Shezra, as far as talks of the 27th Amendment is concerned, is there, in your opinion, we've seen that there's been denial, we've also heard that it's happening. What is the situation with regard to that? Are we looking at more amendments?
Mahrukh, as a principle, the Parliament is there to see if there's any amendments are needed in the Constitution. That's the work of the Parliament, to make laws. We are lawmakers after all. But as of for now, there is no 27th Amendment in the picture. We're not working on any new amendment as of now. I'm not saying that it might not come in the future, because if we feel that we still need some more reforms, or something still needs to be addressed that hasn't been addressed till now, so then we would bring another amendment. Of course, for bringing an amendment, as you know, we need 2/3 majority. So only if we do have that 2/3 majority, like we worked on the 26th Amendment, we tried to get an input from all the parties, our own, parties who are with us in coalition, as well as the parties who are in opposition. And only after talking with them and having extensive talks and discussions were we able to have the 2/3 majority, after which we were able to bring the amendment. So it's not that easy. If we think at some point we might bring, for now, there are going to be just a few, laws brought for which we don't need 2/3 majority, for which we just need a simple majority. So we're going to make a few of those, but no 27.
There was some criticism, we saw initially with regard to the 26th Amendment, that there was a lot of people, as far as the parliamentarians were concerned, as far as the opposition, of course, also, and other members of the press also. The criticism was, of course, that a lot of these people were kept in the dark till the very end, and the way that it was brought about could have been slightly better. Will the government make an attempt to remedy that situation with regard to another amendment where you need 2/3 majority the next time it happens? Is that something that the government has in mind now?
I do think that there were a lot of, it went on for more than a month, 2 months. There were lots of discussions, but because we were still working on those amendments, so to bring a paper into the public for domain at a point when nothing has been finalized is not such a good idea, because then you start talking about all those things which are not final. So we did talk amongst ourselves. There were committees which were discussing these in a lot of detail. It was discussed in threadbare detail, but it wasn't brought into the public domain till it became final. So that's how an amendment works. But I do agree that there should be discussion, at least within parties and amongst themselves also. So I think we will be looking towards that.
Fair enough. Ali, as far as, can you hear me now? No. Fakhar Sahib, the amendment process and amendment itself, somehow the process where you need 2/3 majority, of course, because of the numbers at this time, it has become controversial. And the way that it is looked at, we saw so many theories. We saw the fact that what was said about the opposition members. And do you think that the best way to avoid that would probably be consultation and perhaps more transparency in the kind of environment that we have today, where we are looking at the government and the opposition having this crosstalk? Do you think it's possible?
I think so.
Because in the background, I'm just going to, in the background, there's also the deal talk which has been refuted. So do you think it's a possibility that there can be a smoother path?
I think so. The 26th Amendment, I don't know why the government took this type of steps, that the people would disappear from different parties, and they said that
which are allegations, really, nothing has been
and
proven.
things like that. I think so. We are right now, we are in a critical situation. I'm talking about all over Pakistan, not only the federal government or the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa government. I think so. We need the unity, the unity of the nation and the unity of the parliament. It's very important. I don't know. There are so many senior people are sitting over there that Bilawal is there, Asif Zardari, Sahab Nawaz Sharif, Maulana, and Amal Wali. So many people are there. I don't know why they make it controversial. As far as the dialogue with the concern with the PTI or the opposition, I think so. It's very important, and the Maulana, the Zardari Sahab and the Shehbaz Sharif Sahab. I think so they should play a vital role for that. They should talk with the senior leadership of the PTI. I don't think so they should talk with the Ali Amin Gandapur. He is not able, I think so. He's just able for that I can take over the Islamabad and things like that. They should talk with the senior leadership of the PTI. I think
but
so
Fakhar Sahab, whether talking to whoever, the question is that it's about an environment, right?
Yeah.
And we've seen, I think the incident that happened with the former Chief Justice is an echo of the kind of politics that we are watching. Yeah. And it's not okay for that to happen to anyone who has been, and it's happened in the past with a lot of people. Yeah. So that is the kind of politics of acrimony that we are looking at. Yeah. And somehow we are not being able to change that. Yes. The politicians of today can be the opposition of tomorrow. The opposition of today can be the government of tomorrow. Yes. It's really, the same people that can at times be changing seats.
Position change.
That's what we've seen in Pakistan, if we look at history. So how do you, in your opinion, go about trying to eliminate that kind of atmosphere in politics?
I think so. The hate speeches as well as the hate in the politics. I think so we should eliminate it. And especially we should, I think so, I will take a name of PTI. I think so they have started these type of things from 2014. I don't have any problem to say this, that Imran Khan started these type of things in the politics. And right now their workers all over the world, not only in Pakistan, in London you are talking about the Justice Faiz Issa, retired, and other people who's living there or they are visiting London.
This has happened to women politicians.
Yeah, of course. This is, I think,
happened to all parties. We've seen.
I have seen the video of the Maryam Aurangzeb. I think so. She was the information minister that time. I think so. This is not a way. You can ask your leader, you can ask your politician, but this is not a way that you जैसे उर्दू में कहते हैं कि आप उसका गिरबान पकड़ें. This is not a way. I think so. This nobody have a right to do that. I think so. The senior leadership of the PTI, they should start a dialogue with the government. Otherwise, what they want and
do you
what
think
they
it's
can
going
do.
to? They feel, and I do have to go to Ali, but do you think it's going to? They feel that it maybe, the hallmark of their party is that aggression, is that acrimony, is that kind of those what can one call them, these tactics, or whether that aggression, and if they back down from that, they may lose their voter base.
Yeah, I have talked so many political leaders of the PTI, and they agree on this, that if we will step down from this aggression, I think so the people will not
people will stop supporting.
I think so this is very unfortunate, I think so, for them. And actually they have started these type of things, and they have what I can say that they have make their minds of their workers in
because
Pakistan.
Because we have a style of politics which is, something that perhaps Ali Amin Gandapur Sahab stands for, or that style of aggression, that style of which has now spiraled to another level, and it's clearly spilling all over. It's spilling over to people who are traveling. It's spilling over to politicians all over the world, and we've seen this happen over time. It's not this one incident that happened with Qazi Faiz Issa Sahab. Let me go to Ali. Ali, the question I've been wanting to ask you is that there is, as far as performance is concerned, the criticism that the PTI has always leveled against your party is that as far as performance is concerned, the PPP has not performed in Sindh, yet you have a voter base and you continue to get votes there.
Basically, look, I would respectfully disagree with the fact that saying that People's Party hasn't performed. I think People's Party has performed, and that is the reason why we are winning. I think if you look at the past 15 years, it's the only party which has been able to secure more seats than ever before, all over Pakistan. And because of our performance, and I think the right barometer of a performance is when a voter sees
Shezra, as far as this incident that you also mentioned and we've spoken about, as far as the former Chief Justice of Pakistan is concerned, this is not one isolated incident like we are talking about. Overall, as far as all parties are concerned, they should condemn it. This style of politics, doesn't this incident itself, and we've seen this happen to women in your party also, and your leadership, and overall all parties, we've seen it happen. And do you think isn't it talking about the urgent need for dialogue? Whether the government feels they need it or not.
The government
Absolutely.
is always open to dialogue. We have the sorts of incidents that you're talking about. The same person who was leading this incident that happened, the unfortunate incident that happened in London, was the same person who also led the PTI in a place like Medina, where all Muslims have this very strong belief that you don't even raise your voice. They even did that in that sacred place. And they've been attacking women, like it was just mentioned in London. They attacked Maryam Aurangzeb. There were other leaders. I think somebody was attacked in a restaurant on a motorway. So this is the way that they have, and the leader is the one leading this and encouraging this. Why do you think that Gandapur uses all this aggressive language, this incitement to violence? Because the leader said in the jail that whatever he has said, he endorses it. Remember that some of the leaders got up and apologized to the journalists after one of his jalsas, but the next day, their leader in the jail said that whatever Gandapur has said was right, and whoever has apologized should just resign from the party. In other instances also, we've heard that whoever is more aggressive, whoever is more belligerent or abusive, who uses that sort of a language, is always praised by Imran Khan. So he's the one who is encouraging this behavior, who has polarized the society to such an extent that now even within one household we see this sort of behavior going on. This is a very dangerous trend. The government is always open to dialogue. We have offered time and again on the floor of the House, all the parties have offered PTI dialogue, but always the answer that we have got, whether they've been in the government, whether they've been in the opposition, whether the leader is now in jail, the answer always is that he does not want to talk to any of the political parties, because he has created this sort of an opposition where he says that he is the only one in his party, or whoever comes into his party is the one who are on the right path, and all the other parties, whoever they might be, are the wrongdoers and the ones who are corrupt and the ones who are doing. So that is the sort of narcissistic leader that they have, and that is the kind of message that he's giving to his party. And he always says that he does not want to talk to political parties. So they're the ones, and their people are the ones who need to think about this.
They're criticizing, they're talking about, the performance being meted out to their leader in jail, and, there are a lot of claims being made about how he's being treated there. And how what does the government say to that?
Mahrukh, they always, their narrative is always based on fake news. They keep repeating lies, unfortunately, and then they build an edifice of lies, and their narrative is based on that. But that edifice falls down very quickly when we face them with facts. Now you know that the jail authorities have given a whole menu of what Imran Khan is eating. It's a very nourishing, very, very healthy food that he's eating there. He's got a whole separate room for exercise. He's got all the amenities that are needed in jail that a leader, a former leader or a former prime minister should have. So he's getting all of that. But if they just want to come out and peddle lies, how long are people going to buy those lies? People are not buying those lies anymore. Everybody is now becoming aware that all these are false narratives. However, having said that, I still think that, fake news and spreading fake news and doing what we now call digital terrorism, in which even very sensitive things are, put forward in a false way. For example, an incident was just made up. Nothing had actually happened, and a false incident was made up by them that in the Punjab University. And then people, a TikToker, came and just made a video of herself saying that she is the mother of a child who has been, raped. It is so dangerous. And then she put that on, and people were sharing it and believing in that. And then now she has been, put on, she's been arrested, this person who belonged to the PTI. So this is just an example that I'm giving you. Now, they've even been lobbying in countries like the USA, where we saw this letter come up because there was a group of Congress people that they'd been lobbying with. They've been spending this money on this lobbying. All this narrative is going against Pakistan. So this is the kind of that needs to be broken down with facts, which we are trying to do.
Right, fair enough. Ali, I know that we keep losing you. I think there might be a problem with the internet, but can you hear me? I would like your answer as far as performance is concerned. I think you were saying.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Gee, as far as PPP's performance in Sindh is concerned, because questions have been raised by PTI on it, and they've essentially been saying that your party has not performed, and yet it continues to have a vote bank, and as we've seen.
I'm the spokesperson for Sindh government. I can make you, count different mega projects and whatever we have performed. Similarly, any other party on a talk show who's representing who are opposition will obviously say there's been no performance, but the real gauge of performance is if the voters are coming out and voting for you. And People's Party is the only party whose seats have increased over the past 15 years more than ever. Let it be anywhere in Pakistan. That being said, if you just draw a comparison, I mean, look at Gandapur, look at Punjab government, look at Sindh government. KP government, all they do, their CM, or any press conference they'll do will be about how they'll be attacking Islamabad, how it's do or die, and how Imran Khan not being treated right. Nobody is actually talking about the real issues. Sindh government, any press conference we have, we're talking about, we've launched this project, there's pink buses for women, there's a Hari card in the agriculture department, there's transport in Karachi roads, there are solar panels in the energy department. So on a daily basis, we are doing press conferences where we are highlighting the work we are doing. And on the other hand, you see Gandapur's press conferences, KP, he has nothing to show. His own cabinet members are saying he's corrupt. They're resigning. They don't want to work with him. What do I respond to PTI? PTI, there's no logic. There's no the chaos. It's just like, PTI now has become like a symbol of chaos and destruction, unfortunately, for Pakistan. And their actions, the Indian foreign minister comes, they say, come to our dharna and give a speech. They write letters to the IMF that don't give money to Pakistan, let it default. There's an SCO conference where Shanghai Cooperation Conference, they choose that day to protest. I mean, there's a Palestine all parties conference to condemn Israel. They refuse to, join that conference. So if you connect the dots, these people are not well-wishers of Pakistan. Since earlier person who was talking, who said since 2014, if you connect the dots, their actions have actually harmed Pakistan more than they've benefited Pakistan. So it's a big question mark on what kind of foreign agenda are they doing. And as we know that, in their political funding, there were foreign funding cases where Israel and Indian nationals were funding them. So it's just all the pieces of the puzzle are falling together. And I think it's about time that we should put a stop to this, and we should just stop taking them seriously, because I know people are, because their narrative initially was inflation, महंगाई, bijli ke bill, etc., etc. It's all been destroyed. Inflation has come down. It's in single digit. Interest rates have been cut. Stock market is doing really well. Employment is going up. So now these guys they're losing their minds because they have no narrative left. What do they say to the government? The only complaint, they are not even questioning the performance of the government. All they're saying is Imran Khan not being treated right. He's not been given food. Instead of desi murgi, he's probably given regular chicken. I don't know. But that's all they have to say. I mean, a time has come where they cannot actually pinpoint and criticize the government on their performance. All the issues they have right now is Imran Khan se milne nahi de rahe. We can't meet Imran Khan as regularly. Imran Khan has had over 350 meetings in his jail in the past year. That's more than in fact, not even, 1,100 meetings. That's like 3 meetings a day if you look at the entire year. What else do you want? The guy wants a gym. We gave him a gym. He gets chia seeds, organic, desi, chicken, whatever he wants. But now people aren't.
Thank you so much, Ali. Unfortunately, we're out of time. Fakhar Sahib, my last question to you overall, in terms of the change in the judiciary, do you think, and also after the 26th Amendment, do you think that it's perhaps paving forward a perhaps smoother path overall for the government and for, all parties concerned?
I think so. Judiciary have very big responsibilities in Pakistan, and this is we have the new Chief Justice of Pakistan right now in Supreme Court. I think so. We shouldn't make him controversial as we have seen in the past, unfortunately. And one week ago, I was talking with the political leader of a very senior leader of the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, and he was saying that we should told our workers that they shouldn't make controversial the judiciary and the judges and things like that. I told him that of course you should teach your workers on social media and everywhere. I think so. It's very important for all the parties and as well as for Pakistan. It's very important.
Fair enough. Thank you so much for being with us, Shezra Mansab Ali. Thank you for joining us today. Ali Rashid, thank you for your time. Fakhar Yousafzai, thank you for joining us today. Of course, as far as all political parties are concerned, it is now perhaps more than ever a time to step back from that style of politics which leads to acrimony, agitation, and like we've seen, which is spilling out over other countries now, and no one seems to be safe from it. And like I said, it's across the board about all politicians and all stakeholders involved in the political process. It's about time to reflect on that, and how do we step away from that kind of politics or contributing to it in any way. That is something that is really worth thinking about. Thank you so much for joining us today on Perspective.